Hi, welcome to the Player Management tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how the Player Management area functions and how it will help your tournament. Notice I'm in my tournament called Another Test Tourney. Obviously, this is not a real tournament. We have our color indicators right here. Green means players that have registered and paid through WhyNotGolf. Red means players that have registered but have not paid yet. And blue means players that are added manually and then marked as paid. As you can see, I have a group here, a group here, and a group here. You get the group name when they set their group name on checkout. Obviously, for test purposes, we didn't make this a real group. I'm just going to call this group 1 because I can always change and resave their name if I want. And then here's another test group on checkout that I did, and I'm just going to make this because I, as the tournament organizer, can edit everything in this section. Notice this never has a name because this group was added a different way. Notice how I can expand all of these players so I can see all the extra information. I can actually drag and drop these players and other groups as well. If I wanted to add Rory McIlroy over to this group, I can drag and drop. And for the sake of this, let me rename this group as well. Notice how I have Justin Rose marked as blue because I had input Justin Rose as a player and then marked him as a paid player manually. Notice Sergio Garcia right here is marked red. That means his registration is not paid for. If you wanted to collect payment from Sergio Garcia, you can easily expand him by clicking on him, and then you can send him a payment reminder by clicking on the button. Our system will then send him an email with a PIN code to this group, prompting him to pay for himself. Let me close him, and you can see down here is the PIN code for this group. You can actually give this PIN code to Sergio himself to visit the tournament webpage and select already in a group. That way he can input this PIN code and then find himself to pay for himself. I can actually add new groups as well by clicking on the Add New Group button. There, if I wanted to, I could set the group name, click Save. Notice it saves. I can then add a player for each spot that will be blank when I initially add them. If you already know golfers and the groups they want to be in, if you wanted to get a head start, you can actually add them as a group, or you can actually add a new group, then add these players, input their information and their contact info, save, and then send each one of the payment reminder to be prompted to pay for this individual registration for this group. It's one way of, let's say, perhaps speeding up the process. On the other side, say if you didn't want this group here anymore, or someone's just not paying, or they canceled, you can delete all the players in that group by expanding them and then deleting them. And then, once all the players have disappeared, you can then click on the delete button to remove that group. Also, say if this group is set, you would then use the lock button to lock the group so that no one can get dragged outside the group anymore accidentally. Let's say Sergio gave us a call and he mailed us a check. Instead of waiting for his payment so that he can be turned green, I could then mark that he's been paid manually, save, and now he's blue. That also changes my players unpaid. Notice how my players unpaid are 0 of 9 as I don't have any red players. If we add another player, and then save, and then when I reload this page, notice my 1 of 11 players unpaid, as Justin Thomas is now showing and he is unpaid.